Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Emefiele, banks to blame for scarcity of new Naira notes. Tinubu promises prosperity in Cross River, end to erosions in Anambra. NNPCL investing 2.6 trillion naira on 70 roads. Nigeria improves in TI's latest corruption perception index. That's Transparency International, I believe. Absence of sick child stalls Ekwerimado's trial. And Nigeria needs a thinker, not a tinker. All right, which story are we going with?
I'll go with the major
headline, please.
Yeah, banks are to blame. So I have a problem with a leader having to pass the buck. So tell us what you have done and how you intend to resolve the situation. So according to the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele, he said yesterday that the banks have not complied with directives that he had given them on how they can phase out the old notes and get the new notes. Yeah. And he said that they had given banks amount of money to install in their ATM machines so that at least an individual will not withdraw more than 20,000 per transaction. Right. But what they realized is the fact that the banks were now handing the notes to individuals who were using them to spray at parties, and they didn't have any money put in those ATM machines. I saw viral video of some banks that people were struggling to even get. Nothing is in the ATM machines. So that's on one hand. He also said that Nigerians should not be afraid, that no matter how long it takes, even after February 10, which is supposed to be the deadline of phasing out the old notes, you can take your old notes to the bank for as long as they are able to phase out the old notes. Once it's your money, just go to the bank, they will change it for you. So I want him to go a step further and take more responsibility. You know how much you give to these banks, and now they don't have money in their ATM. Shouldn't you be sanctioning somebody? Somebody has to, pay for what is happening right now so that every other bank sits up and people are able to get the money.
Absolutely.
So let me take the NNPCL story.
Yes.
So the NNPCL will be investing 2.6 trillion on 70 roads in total. If you see the picture in the nation, the Minister for Works, the representative of the GMG CEO of the NNPCL, Umar Ajiya, and the Federal Inland Revenue Service boss, Mr. Mohammed Nami, were at this press briefing where it was announced, and that the NNPC will start with their first phase of about 621 billion, which will be invested in about
70 roads.
70 roads in total, but the first phase will be covering about, I'm trying to get the number of kilometers of road that will be
1,000 kilometers.
1,000 kilometers, and then the second phase will be 4,000 kilometers of road, which will be about 1.96 trillion in the second phase. Totally, the Minister for Works emphasized that this administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has prioritized infrastructure as a way out of our economic downturn and to project growth, and that the quality of roads and roads that will stand over 50 years from this. When you look at this arrangement, also the Federal Inland Revenue Service is involved, so the taxes that the NNPC are paying is what will be utilized. They've also gone through to look for financing through Sukuk and all other measures of financing that they have been pushing towards. So this is great news.
All right, let me take Asiwaju's visit to Anambra. It was very funny because he was in Anambra State. And let me quote him. He was saying in campaigning, he's a flag bearer for the APC, and he was claiming that he is not like Peter in the Bible, who denied Christ 3 times. That the same Peter that led this state that he's in. He was in Anambra speaking with confidence. Like, here in your opposition state, and you're speaking with such confidence. That the same Peter that led in this state would deny you all the promises he has promised you. That I tamed Atlantic Ocean. And so for those of you that know the long-standing erosion issues in Anambra, that he who has tamed the Atlantic Ocean by having a full plan to handle the erosion menace that happened in Lagos, and he will do the same also in Anambra. He also pledged to work with the governor, that's Governor Soludo, to become, when he becomes president. He said that he wants to make Anambra a memorable, productive state in memory of his friend, Chuba Okadikbo. Many of you know Chuba Okadikbo. I'm here also to publicize the promise of developments he has made, and that he's known that he's the Lagos boy, the city boy, and he's coming to come and help to fix Anambra. It was just interesting that he was. I didn't even think he was going to go to the southeast or certain east, but he's been there for a while, and he's been campaigning there, and there's been quite a bit of crowd to support him there. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
Any
I
other
want to
story in
take
the
the
nation?
absence of Ekweremadu's daughter in at the court case. You know, she didn't. She was unable to make it. She's in hospital for an unspecified condition, and her lawyers have also submitted a psychological report claiming she's not even fit to stand trial because it's her mother, and her father that are up for trial in the. So. They've postponed the trial. They didn't say what date.
Okay. The Punch, new Naira racketeering, EFCC to raid Lagos, Kaduna, Port Harcourt currency hawkers. Start with parties. Protest as Ekweremadu's wife appear in UK court. LP governorship candidates orders boycott Obi's Yola rally. One killed as tanker crushes 3 Lagos tricycles. How 100 bandits ambushed killed 7 NSCDC personnel and director. NNPC ADAX end 24 production sharing contract. And fuel scarcity threatens election and national security, says INEC and CDS. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Let me just take the major headline. So the EFCC, they arrested members of a syndicate of currency racketeers in trading in Wuse in Abuja. And so they've announced that they'll be moving to Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and raiding areas where they, in this new Naira arrangements, where they hear people are racketeering the new Naira and the new currencies printed. They say they planned this in the heels of similar raids that has happened by personnel of the DSS. So the DSS had earlier done theirs. They are also following suit to carry out this, to arrest people. But I hope that they don't just go and arrest those that are relieving others. Because some people are actually making money from it. It's become a black market arrangement.
Yeah, it has been.
It has become a black market arrangement. For 10,000, it's 1,000 Naira withdrawal now.
No, it's 3,000. No. For 10,000, it's 2,000 Naira you get. You get 13,000 Naira. Somebody went to the bank to get 10,000 Naira, you pay 13,000 Naira.
In the bank?
Not in the bank, no, in the... They're around the bank. Those guys selling around the outside the bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of tough situation. But I think they should raid those ones.
Yeah.
Because
somebody in the bank is giving them
the money. Yes.
But you know, I think you have to go to the top. Look for the top ones.
The ones that carried it in Ghana must go.
Hey, the one, not, you know,
because
even this money selling, it's a syndicate.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a huge...
It's a small boys who catch.
People,
Yeah.
when you're catching scapegoats, those ones don't even know who the organs are.
True.
You know, go and look for the DSS, do your work. Go and look for the organs.
I even like that they said in the story that they know that they're working with people within the banks. So I hope that as they're cashing them, they're cashing bank.
Okay, let's take another.
Okay, please, just wanted to take one.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Why can't I story somebody?
Yeah, I was going to take the story of the tanker driver that killed at least one tricycle operator. You know, he had been descending from a slopey road, you know, and this is in the Kotun area, near the synagogue. And at the bottom of the road, the tricycles make a U-turn there, but his brake failed.
Oh, yikes. And right on.
He just went right into them. They managed to remove some of the people, including a pregnant lady who was taken unconscious to the hospital, but one person died. You know, the driver has been arrested. They said when he was coming that he was not speeding, so nobody thought there was danger. They didn't know his brakes.
So it's the truck owner that we need to find out because they don't do proper maintenance. Yes,
yeah, because they're not maintaining.
But there's a side of the...
Can you imagine if he had crashed because he was full of fuel?
Okay, there's a side of the pedestrian. I know synagogue well, I know Ikotun well, that area. So when you're coming, not exactly a slope, it's just that, you know, the way the road was done is actually
just goes in.
You'll be descending just before you go up again at the Ikotun roundabout. Keke drivers want to do a U-turn and then they are dropping off passengers at the same time. We're all risking our lives. So they should have a park where they go and then they stop.
Would they listen?
They will not. Even when your car is coming, you have to wait. The traffic at that Ikotun roundabout is because of the way yellow buses and keke drivers
We can't discuss this matter because we need to move on.
comport
Any
themselves
other
there.
punch?
Yes, quickly, just a short story. INEC is saying that it's less than 25 days until the general elections, and they are expressing concern over the fuel scarcity. So according to the chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, he said the fuel scarcity will likely affect the movement of election materials during this period. So they've been having meetings with the National Union of Road Transport Workers. They had a meeting on Tuesday, and meeting with even NNPC as well, just trying to see how they can resolve this issue before elections so that we don't have any excuse of people not being able to locate where they're supposed to vote in the polls.
Daily Sun, CBN will redeem old Naira notes beyond February 11, says Emefiele. Tinubu in Anambra promises to industrialize and address erosion challenges. Obi to universities gives students holiday to vote. Lekki Deep Ports turns new bride as landlocked countries dump Cotonou and Togo. Government stops pro-Tinubu Shetima solidarity rally in Niger over the security concern. Fifth columnist spreading fake news to destabilize elections, says federal government. Gates Foundation earmarks $35 million for Nigerian and African farmers. Rivers will punish PDP leadership, says Wike. And petrol scarcity may affect elections logistics, says INEC. All right, which story?
Let me quickly start with the bill amendment that Gates Foundation, $35 million grants that is given to develop what's called a Cambridge University-led project on self-fertilizing crops for African farmers. So I don't know where some see Nigerian, but I read through the story. There was no specific African, they didn't specify which African countries they were looking at, but they said that this $35 million will cover an engineering nitrogen symbiosis for Africa research program for the next 5 years, which is, of course, to help African farmers do a self-fertilizing farming where it is green friendly and it is, environmental and all of that. They shall cover that. It would be nice. But, I would love that our own research students here look into that project and see whether it is environmentally friendly and that the product that will become, the foods that will be coming from that method of farming is safe for Africans because they are looking to fund Africa. But I don't know whether Nigeria will be amongst them, just African countries.
Okay. So the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, was saying yesterday that fifth columnists are working to concert and destabilize the elections that are coming up. According to him, he says that he can unequivocally say that there has been worrisome and astronomical increase in the use of fake news and disinformation making the rounds, and it's causing present danger to the success of the elections. He said that the increase is undoubtedly the work of some destabilizing agents like opposition, and their sole aim is to destabilize the electoral process and plunge the nation into crisis. But the government will not stand by and watch them, people who have data and phones, to destabilize the country. And he's therefore warning the purveyors of fake news and this information to desist from their acts, that the government will take action, and they have enough tools within their hands to actually stop this menace. But he has said word is enough for the wise, because this is getting really unbearable at this time.
And the government, the Niger State government, stopped the planned solidarity rally of the Tinubu Shetima 2023 support group at the new Busa local government area over security concerns. They said they had called this rally the Grand Lockdown Rally for the candidates, and as early as 7 a.m. yesterday, 3 Toyota Hilux vans filled with security, mobile military just came, shut down the venue, and stopped people from coming in. Stopped all the people that wanted to work, saying that there are security concerns and that the order came from above. But later the APC too said their own rally is somewhere else. And they disassociated themselves from the event.
The other one, okay. So the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, is urging Nigerian universities to give students a break to travel home to their destination so that they can, be able to participate in the February 25th and March 11 election. Said what happened was, because of their 8 months long strike, a lot of students had to register in their home time because most of them went back to their parents. But now that they have resumed with all the examinations that will be happening, it would be nice if, the universities would give them like 1 week break so that they can go home and, register and vote for the elections. he also talked about the fact that he more like applauded INEC for extending the time to pick up the PVCs, and also urged Nigerians that if you have not picked up your PVC, this is the time to pick up the PVC, especially the young ones, because the future belongs to young people.
Yeah, he said at least 3.5 million of them had been disenfranchised or will be disenfranchised
if they are not,
allowed to vote.
Okay, the Nigerian Tribune, only CBN will accept old Naira notes after February deadline, says Emefiele. Kwakanso in Ibadan says, I'm open to restructuring. Police stopped planned APC rally in Niger State. Suspected herders killed DPO, 5 others in Benue. Many injured as PDP and APC supporters clash in Osun. Transcorp increases power generation to national grid. Election INEC makes requests for seamless fuel supply. Reps approve Buhari's request for restructuring. 22.7 trillion naira ways and means owed CBN. And Buhari's visit, Kano stone pelters sponsored by politicians, terrorist sympathizers, says presidency. Okay, let me take Kwakanso. So the presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Senator Rabi Kwakanso, has said that he's open to calls for restructuring the country, though he noted that there will be varied concepts, there are different definitions of restructuring. But Kwakanso has stated that, that he would ensure that restructuring is the front burner when he becomes president. He also said that they are doing all they can to ensure he's going to do everything to put back electricity and give Nigerians light. And he said that, I'm trying to see other things he said, but he was pretty much campaigning and he was ensuring that, telling Nigerian people what he would do if he becomes president of the country. Okay, what other stories we have in Tribune?
In Ife, in Osun State, the People's Democratic Party and the APC, All Progressive Congress, had a set-to with machetes, axes, some had guns.
Wow.
At least 10 people were hacked with machetes, and the clash lasted 2 hours.
Jeez.
But in the same story, they said that the state police command acted promptly.
After 2 hours.
After 2 hours. It's the same story. So I read it. Hey, it's 2 hours prompt.
After 2 hours, please.
Okay, so much English.
Okay.
Promptly is promptly.
English now.
Okay, tell me now that
Promptly
2
is
hours
promptly.
prompt. Then I will just keep
After
quiet.
2 hours,
English
you
is
have
not
to
our first language. Why,
It's not your
please calm
it's
down.
not our first language. As soon as they hear it, they
Hey,
react.
God bless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
2 hours ago.
Yeah, they heard it.
As soon as they hear it. Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Which other story are we taking in Tribune?
Gunmen suspected to be headers have killed the divisional police officer DPO of Naka Division in Benue State, identified as Mahmoud Abubakar, a superintendent of police, and 5 others in Gwe local government area. According to the story, it said the DPO was ambushed on Makadi Naka Road at about 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Wale Abbas, confirmed the death, and they said the DPO was actually ambushed and killed. And afterwards, I think on Sunday, 4 other people were also ambushed and killed in the same location. So investigations are ongoing to find out exactly what happened. They said they told them that the DPO was alone in the vehicle, so they are not sure if there were other policemen who accompanied him who may have been killed or survived.
Okay, any other stories in Vanguard? Let's move to Vanguard. Elections, logistics in danger with fuel scarcity. PVC's Obi insists that 3 million Nigerian students must vote and meets the EU observer when he was talking to the EU observers. FG cracks down on petrol marketers, orders end to smuggling. APC-PDP clash over plots to disrupt Tinubu Shetima rally in Osun. Catholic bishops to federal government save Nigerians from wanton killings, looting, and kidnappings. Naira redesign, no Nigeria will lose money, says Emefiele. Thank you for that assurance. And Osun Governorship Tribunal judgment, opponents of the BVAS out to discredit, he says, Igini. And the Labour Party governorship candidate, LP candidate, others boycott Obi's Yola rally. Who still has any story in Vanguard?
Okay, so again, a lawyer and former rec with INEC in Akwa Ibom was interviewed on the BVAS discrepancy, the way people are hearing about the BVAS being compromisable after the electoral petition, the tribunal conclusion in Osun State. He says that the BVAS is still as credible. In fact, that tribunal just only showed the credibility of BVAS. That BVAS continues to upload as they are collecting and accrediting voters, and that it remains the only reliable source of how voters that were accredited voted. Because even if the result shows different, as long as the result from BVAS is not conflicting with that result, or as long as it is even conflicting, BVAS remains the superseding legitimate source of accrediting of results. Yeah. So if, just as in Osun State, as they're saying, some voting took place after or outside accredited voting, BVAS remains the only source, because it's a system that uploads its own result when the REC is busy with other things, and continues to accredit only voters within the records of INEC. And it's only continue to expand on that as a way forward for us to look. It says we should not lose faith in the BVAS.